And welcome back. All right, we will continue. I'm not going to be spinning the wheel anymore. I'll just show you what it looks like in case this is the first video you've seen on this series. But I have a wheel with different categories. Yep, pretty crappy, pretty crappy wheel here. But hey, just try to make it a little different for you guys. So yep. So we're gonna cover the last few things, and then we'll call it a day. So or whatever. 1971. There was a television show, Dick Cavett Show, the Dick Cavett Show, and in 1971 he had a guest, J.I. Rodell, Jerome Irving Rodell. He had a fatal heart attack on stage in front of the audience and in front of Dick Cavett. He died, and that episode of that show never aired on television for obvious reasons. And I'm going to leave a link below where Dick Cavett's interviewed, and he talks about this peculiar situation where strangers approach him on the street and say, especially around the anniversary of the heart attack and when the guy died on the show, and they come up to him and they're like, hey, man, I will never forget the look on your face when that guy died on your show. Yeah, never. So he's learned that a lot of people who ask him this often will tell him they weren't an audience, they saw it on TV, and he has to explain to them it was never aired. So he usually says, oh, you were an audience, huh? You were there, and they're like, no, I saw it on TV, and then he explains it was never aired. So you must be falsely remembering it. And then the people legitimately are disappointed and hurt that their memory is not accurate, it's not valid. They can't believe it. He says they'll pass a lie detector test, no question about it. So that you can check out that interview. It's very interesting. So, there's a parallel reality where that show was aired. The heart attack was aired on television and people saw it. And then people who did see that television show shifted into what we call the current present timeline. And they remember something that they shouldn't. Okay. Here's a scenario. This is all right. That was one story. Here's another one. This is excuse me. This is about the Ford and Volvo car logo changes. No, I'm not going to talk about, hey, look at it. This changed here and this changed there. No, I think that's been covered. This is a scenario where there are going to be, let's say when the Mandela effect started to become more known. Let's say, and the Volvo seems to, the Ford seems to be more recent, the Volvo an older change, relatively speaking, of course. So let's say that in 2015, there was all these people remembering or realizing that the Volvo symbol has this male symbol to it, and the Volvo logo looks completely different, right? People, flipping out about it. So let's say you have a person, let's say a hypothetical person, right? They are Mandela effect sensitive. The Volvo has changed for them. It now has a male symbol. It looks really strange to them. So they go out of their way. To study all the car logos. They put them up on their wall. They have them all over the place, plastered. They're studying them. They're obsessive about it. So they're studying every detail of all the car logos. All right? Now, where is that person today? No, a version of that person, assuming they're still alive, is here. But the version that I just described, the one who became obsessed and studied all the car logos every day after the Volvo changed and they realized it, the other car logos moving forward are very unlikely to change for that person because they're closely studying it. Just like your house doesn't magically change colors, or your furniture in your room doesn't magically change when you wake up the next morning. Generally speaking, it's certainly possible. But anyway, so the closer you study something, the closer you look at it, the less likely it is to change. So the individual in this scenario who the Volvo changed, they're Mandela effect sensitive, and all of a sudden, that person who studied all the car symbols in depth, the Ford with the F-O-R-D, just solid F, no squiggly, that person lives in a reality right now, is experiencing reality right now, as you are watching this and hearing these words, where the Mandela effect is real. They're experiencing it as well as plenty of others. Volvo has changed for this person and many others. Ford did not. If anything, some people might say there used to be a squiggly and now it's just there's no squiggly. It's just a regular F. So that person is in a reality where Mandela effect is happening. Volvo has changed to the male symbol, but Ford never changed. Just as valid as this reality that we're in now, where Ford did change in addition to Volvo. Okay? All right, good. Just lastly, a couple more Mandela effect mistakes. Things that people think probably is a change, but maybe it's not. So there is some fear-based mindsets out there with regards to something controlling this reality, manipulating it, basically these negative forces up to no good, and that we're under their control and all this. There is a small amount of truth to the negative forces trying to manipulate reality, but the light that shines from humans' hearts has already won that one. That battle's done. But if you believe that it's a negative world and bad things are coming, and you believe it hard enough, and you feel that energy enough, it will. You'll experience a reality where all the shit hits the fan. Yeah. Yep, you can. You just keep embracing that fear-based stuff, and the shit will hit the fan for you. But you have a choice. You have a choice. Multiple timelines. Go on the one you want. It doesn't have to be scary and bad. So there is some factor with regards to Mandela effect shifts and changes where technology and human beings using technology to manipulate the physical world. Yes, I think there's a small amount of that going on, and some of the Mandela effect type situations a little bit might be attributed to that. A little bit. Reality residue issues. You live multiple realities. You might remember multiple realities. So in other words, you find some people who have a Mandela effect example where they remember both versions because they remember both versions, literally. So you got that reality residue that can mix things up a little bit. People who will say they've experienced a Mandela effect, but they're purposefully lying. They're basically giving a false positive. They're lying about it for whatever reason. So sometimes you might find someone who's talking about a personal Mandela effect, but they're making it up. It's going to happen, right, from time to time. So yeah. So that's going to be it for this first episode with multiple parts to it of Mandela Effect tonight. And thank you for listening. Thank you for your responses and comments. And just to rehash what I originally said in the first part of this series, I just noticed a lot of chaos with Mandela Effect information. And again, there's some really good researchers out there, and props to you guys for doing what you're doing and spreading the word and looking at things with an open mind. But there are plenty of others out there who are putting out this fear-based stuff, this garbage. And I'd like to make sure I am available as a resource to those who want the Mandela effect to be a good thing, a good change in the world, a positive thing. And it is. Absolutely. So I love you guys, and I hope you're having an awesome day. And I will see you soon.